So there was this guy sometime, is it 2016, 2017? I can't actually place the time, but what happened was he bought a Peugeot car, and I don't want to mention the model so that the person will not think I'm trying to make jest of him. So he bought a Peugeot car, and a modern Peugeot car. So, and he bought it fully used, what we call in Nigeria tukumbu. So I think 2 days later he called and drove the car to where I was. He said he needed me to check the vehicle because he was seeing stop sign. The stop sign on the instrument panel was blinking, and so he wanted to know what the issue was. Other than that, there was no other issue. And okay, there was another sign anyway, that was there, but the stop sign was what was worrying him. So I diagnosed the vehicle and told him it was his ABS. The ABS was faulty. So I showed him what to do to get this sorted, as one of the ABS sensor. One of the ABS wheel sensor needed to be changed. So but before he left, I asked him if he had changed the timing belt, and he said no. What for? I was like, well, it's no longer a brand new car, and probably you don't even know the history. Probably the car did not come with survey history, from what I could gather as we were discussing. So even personally, even if he did, I still don't rely on what the information, but especially with regards to timing belt, is saying from that paper or whatever you may call it. So I told him my recommendation is change that timing belt with the auxiliary belt. So he was like, no, that he wouldn't do that. He tried to give me reasons why he did not want to do it. He had, was it a colleague, not a neighbor, a colleague who changed the belt, his own timing belt, after purchasing his Peugeot car. I'm not so sure it was immediately after the purchase, but according to him, he changed the timing belt as preventive maintenance, and about a week later, the belt broke and damaged the valves. So that he didn't want to take that chances. As long as the engine is still working, everything is intact. According to him, that Tukumbo is more like close to a new car. So of course he made the choice, and to cut the story short, last month, was it last month? I think last month, he called me very early in the morning, saying please I should wait before I leave for the day. He drove straight to my house, and as he was coming in, I could see fumes of smoke, as a blue smoke puffing out from the exhaust, as in fact the entire rear of that car as it was coming was discolored completely with bluey smoke. So he came in and said, somebody took his car or borrowed his car to go somewhere along probably on the road. The timing belt cut, damaged the valve. Probably was informed, and so they could get somebody there to change the timing belt. Either it was done properly, of course it bent the valves, both the exhaust valve and the intake valve. Probably, I don't know how many of the valves that were bent or damaged. So they did the work there, put the belt, but since then the engine started to smoke. So he came to me. He didn't come to me for me to start gloating or start singing I told you so, but he came to see if there is a way, if probably the smoking, it was just a minor thing. So I looked at the engine, started it, the smoke came out, allowed it to idle, it kept puffing out that smoke. I simply told him, your engine is gone. And then there was this terrible noise coming from that engine as well, as the engine, the bonnet was open. I thought it was gone. You know, it's more like, yeah, it's still moving, but it's fucked. Maybe it's that way, that word. He said, no, it can't be just because of timing belt. I said, well, you are seeing what, you are hearing the sound from the engine bay, you are seeing the smoke coming out from the exhaust. What else do you need? Yeah, it could be the valve, say blah, blah, blah. He said, and I said, okay, I recommended the mechanic to go and check it for him. You know, his vehicle, you know, that's what he wanted. Last week, the engine finally packed up and they had it replaced. Of course, how I got to know was he called and needed my advice on which engine oil to use because he has gotten another engine. He even sent me money to help him buy the engine oil. Yeah, of course, it was 9,000, 5W40. And other sought my advice and other, you know, things to do or what to do. Of course, the first thing I told him is just because it's a Tokumbo engine doesn't mean it's a brand new engine. Change the belt even before you mount that engine. Now, reason why I'm doing this video, because some of you say, oh, it's not my portion. Yeah, you know, as if somewhere in the sky there is a list up there in the sky that these people on that list is their portion to be having misfortune. It's your portion because it has to do with your choice. It's the choice you make that determines whether it's your portion or not your portion to have that kind of horrible experience. Yeah, the point is, timing belts can ruin your engine. When I mean ruin, I don't mean just damage the valve. It can damage the entire engine. For those who think, oh, okay, worst case scenario, I will change the valve, or worst case scenario may not even affect the valve, or blah, blah, blah. No, I'm telling you, worst case scenario, you lose that engine. Completely, you lose it, as in, gone. You have to buy another one. It's not even a matter of rebuilding because of... In fact, the mechanic later called because I knew the mechanic that did the work. I was there and I could see the extent of damage. In fact, as it was dismantling the engine, the entire engine was, you know, covered with oil. Oil was just spilling out from every part of the engine to tell you how horrible. I don't know whether it was a valve job they did. I honestly, I didn't even know what happened. All I knew that the valve, the timing belt caught and ruined the engine, damaged it. Engine, I knew, at least I know that vehicle. Every once in a while, it brings the car for me to scan in case the sensor is bad, this and that. I could remember that the last time I worked on, I diagnosed that vehicle, the coil had an issue. So I know how sound that car is. I do drive it too, you know, and of course because it's a manual car, and so I enjoy driving it. So each time it comes, I do the diagnosis, do the repairs, I take it out, drive it on expressway, have some fun. It takes the car back. So if you are still thinking, oh, this and that, yes, the funny thing is, I told him, okay, I can understand why, or the reasons you are giving, why you don't want to change it. However, do you trust me? I called and asked him that way. He said, well, he's just meeting me for the first time. I said, no, I don't. How did you get to know about me? He told me he found my stuffs online and realized that, no, I know what I'm doing. So he decided to pay, use my service. I said, then if that means you know that if I'm telling you something, I meant it. I meant that it's not good for you to keep using this car without changing that timing belt. And secondly, if you can trust me enough, I can get you the original belt, because your fear is that the other person probably your colleague bought a fake belt and it didn't last and damaged or even caused what he was trying to prevent. So I can get you the original belt, even though I don't have it at that time. I can source it for you and get it for you. He said, no, it's not, he just doesn't want to touch the engine. As far as I'm concerned, it was more like a brand new engine or brand new vehicle to him. Because that's what most Nigerians think. Once they see a Tokumbo car, they will just assume it's a brand new car. Oh, fuck. I mean, sometimes, I don't know. Is it that poverty has made people sometimes to even start looking things backward? It's a used car. It's not too bad. The only difference is they were well maintained. Period. Nigerian used Tokumbo, foreign used, there's not, is a used car is a used car. Okay? The difference is, like I said, these ones were well maintained, driven, no, were not abused and all that. Unlike majority of vehicles of Nigeria road that have been messed up. In fact, if vehicles could talk, you could hear their cry. So that's the difference. So that doesn't mean if they come in, probably before the previous user in Europe or wherever sold the car, he used the belt and he got close to the replacement time, and he now realized that the cost of replacing the timing kit and auxiliary kit doesn't even didn't worth the value of the car anymore. So he decided to let the car go and look for another vehicle. And you now buy it and be driving it as if it's a brand new car because it looks very new or neat. Other than once it's here on Nigerian road, that doesn't make it a new car. Even if you are buying a used engine, if I were you, my recommendation, my advice, change the belt on the ground, on the floor, before you even mount it in the vehicle. As long as it's using timing belt, trust me, it's gonna. Yeah, I know things can. You don't have the time that man has money. Personally, it's not. I don't always have it all the time. Or in the other words, it's not every time I need some money to do everything that I do have it. So that's how life is. There has to be abundance and shortage every once in a while, to make life meaningful. Otherwise, if everything is bed and roses, it will suck. So yeah, worst case scenario, for example, my 406, I changed it recently, the timing belt. Why? Of course, I changed it in 2013, and after 7 years later, it was like I didn't change the tensioner and the roller back then because the new ones are not in Nigeria. You can only get V6 timing belt. However, the timing tensioner and the timing roller, they are not available in Nigeria. So I was running the engine with the old tensioner and the rollers. At least the V6 are 3 rollers, the 3 timing rollers. So I changed them. No, not that I changed. I said, okay, it's time for me to open that chamber and see what's going on there, and see if the rollers and the tensioner are still intact. However, I'm changing that timing belt as well, including the auxiliary belt, 7 years after. And of course, when I removed it, I realized that, in fact, I even parked the vehicle for over 2 weeks, I think, to get myself prepared. Yes, I got the belt, but I was like, okay, I need to be financially ready, so that if I open that place and realize that other rollers or other things are already weak and all that, I will have to replace them before putting the new belt. So what I'm saying is, even if the money is not there, it will be better for you to pack that car. Give it 2 weeks, 1 month, save up, and when you are ready, deal with it and continue using the vehicle. Rather than you risk it and with damage and you now spend triple amount we are trying to avoid. So, okay, well guys, you just have to, make your own choice. You don't have to believe everything I say, but sometimes, like I say, you have to experience it to understand. And you don't have to, people always want to rationalize, just like that man did. Trying to rationalize because, somebody else had a terrible experience after changing timing belt, so he rationalized it as if it was a norm, that if you change your timing belt, it's going to cut. And you are with a professional, an expert that understands, even that can even do the change for you, get your original belt for it to last you for 4 years or so. But he made the choice that he didn't want to change it eventually. Anyway, death of engine doesn't mean end of life. It's just a part. For as long as you can afford it, even if they keep knocking or breaking, you can only replace them. It's money. It's not like it's going to do. It's all about money. So, yes, your timing belt can damage your engine, not just your valves. It can damage the entire engine. So I hope this video helps.